I'm pretty sure in the beginning of the video we saw it. You kind of hit someone, but we can move past it.
I did not hit anyone.
Yeah, it was on the way to the Eiffel Tower.
No.
There were some guys.
That I hit, physically touched them.
Well, I didn't physically touch this guy.
Yeah, but you're saying I hit someone.
I'm pretty sure.
Are you saying I hit or almost hit? You almost did.
I think you hit someone.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of our carcast, aka bike cast today.
Yeah. Today's a special episode because it really brings into the question, what is a carcast? We usually start off each episode where I explain that a carcast is where we drive somewhere, you see the sights of the view, and you hear us talk about what we're talking about. But today, we're driving a bike in Paris. So
we're actually in our apartment in LA too.
Yeah.
So for reference, you'll probably see me riding the bike on the screen, but you'll also see me sitting in my apartment in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so it's basically the same thing as a car cast, but it's a bike cast. We like to just call it an umbrella. This is basically all just a cast. I mean, life is really just sort of a cast if you think about it.
No one knows what that means. Does anyone know what that means?
I mean, when you're going through life, you're just seeing things while you hear things, and yeah, it's like a cast. It's like you're casting
like a cast,
your life.
like you broke your arm. Cast.
Well, no, not that cast.
Well, then, bro, what you mean, bro?
I mean, yeah, that's. I think I already explained what I mean.
He doesn't mean.
Yeah. He
does not mean.
Special episode in Paris.
Yes.
Driving along the Seine here, the Seine River.
Driving? No, we're biking.
Biking
we just talked about this.
True. Yeah, we're biking.
And it's pretty cool because we came back from Paris over a month ago. So it's kind of cool reflecting, seeing this biking session that we did. We really enjoyed riding on these bikes with what were called Velib. It was like a bike share service, and it was incredible. They just had like all of these bike stations where you could just rent a bike and drop off at any other station. You could get like a day pass, and that's what we did. It smacked pretty well. Like, this was on our journey to bike about 40 minutes to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. So in this video, you're going to see the Eiffel Tower. You'll see, I think, the Arc de Triomphe. We're going to see the Louvre. Kind of like the key spots. We just biked across all over Paris, and you get to enjoy what it's like.
Yes. And you may notice that both Barry and I have fresh cuts right now.
Yeah, we got haircuts today. I think Sanaz looks great. Mine, unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of.
I feel like Barry really struggles with haircuts. Like, every time he comes from a haircut, he likes it maybe 25% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like the idea of getting a haircut.
Okay, well, yeah, I remember during, like, peak pandemic, Barry would, like, ask me to do his hair, and I was like...
That was the best. I wish we could go... I would really hope for everyone to pressure Sanaa into giving me haircuts again, because... Those haircuts I actually enjoyed. Like, it was nice and home.
I hated
comfortable.
Doing it.
You knew exactly what to do because you know what hair suits me best. So it's like you're cutting it the right way. At the barbershops, they always like give me like this very kind of like a muscle guy look, which I'm not. That's not the look I'm kind of going for. But they gave me like a short hair, straight edges and stuff, and I'm like, yo, it's not. And I show them a picture every time of like a classic haircut. But they never get it. I don't know why.
Never get it right.
But Sanaa gets it right.
I did not enjoy cutting hair. And it's more like, yes, I enjoy that it brought Barry happiness and all that stuff. However, the actual act of cutting hair is very unenjoyable. Like, I think if I was cutting a woman's hair, I would enjoy that more. But with, like it's so short and, like, snip, snip, snip is so hard. And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. And I'm like... It was nice on days where Barry one time had me shave his head. I was like, this is easy.
Yeah.
I could do that.
I mean, for me, the keys to a good haircut is, 1, a relaxed environment where I can just be at ease. Number 2, they don't cut it too short. I think underdoing is better than overdoing in the case of haircuts.
Okay, yeah.
And number 3, it can't be overpriced.
I agree.
Today, I suffered on all 3 of those, whereas haircuts from you... Check the box on all 3. So I think we should go back to haircuts at home.
Yeah, I'm going to opt out. What was nice about my haircut today is I actually didn't... Normally, for reference, if you're not a girl, you get a wash cut, and then style. Today, I just wanted the cut. Like, I came in with my hair and I was like, no wash, just the cut. I was in and out in 20 minutes. That's never happened in my life. I've always been in there for 1 hour. And it was beautiful. Like, I just was like, wow, I really don't need to waste time with haircuts anymore.
That's solid.
At all. Like, just walk in, walk out. What a life.
Yeah, for me, I went in. The guy was like, he didn't even say, he said no words. He just looked at me. It was an empty barbershop. And I go in, I say, hey, can I get a haircut? He says, what kind of haircut? And I'm just like just
a haircut.
Just short on the sides and a little bit on the top.
I feel like there has to be a name for that kind of style that you could say.
Yeah, I'm probably at fault here. I don't describe what I want very well. I kind of just show the picture and I'm just like, that, please. And he said probably 6 words throughout the entire process.
But isn't that great when someone doesn't talk to you? Getting a haircut.
If it's good, yeah, no complaints. I mean, that's all. If it's a good haircut, then no complaints. Okay. But at the end, he wrapped up, took off the little bib around me, and just said $40. And I'm like, what, $40? That's my fault again. I should have checked the price before I entered. But it was like, it wasn't a fancy place. It was just like a run of the mill place, barbershop on Melrose. Yeah. It was empty, so I thought like, there's no way it's gonna be over $20. Wow. And I don't know, man. I got. I'm not going back there again. Yeah.
Put that into retrospect. Like, I paid $30 for my woman's haircut. You paid $40.
I need to go to your person. I see. The thing is, I normally go to this guy in the same neighborhood that she gets her haircut. Los Feliz, best neighborhood in LA. But he sold his barbershop and new ownership, not too good.
Yeah, that's always pretty sad.
It's a struggle. Speaking of haircuts in France, since we're watching Us in Paris.
Speaking of haircuts in France, like that was what we were talking
about. Haircuts and France.
Oh, I heard in France. Okay.
Speaking of haircuts and France, I got a haircut one time in France.
Wow.
And I remember I made an appointment. This was in Cannes, so not in Paris, but in Cannes, in sort of like the French Riviera.
Well, bro, say why you were there.
I was there for the Cannes Film Festival, but I don't want to digress too much.
Okay.
So I needed to get a haircut, and what happened was I booked an appointment at this one local place.
Solid.
And I showed up maybe 3-4 minutes late.
Terrible.
Okay, fine. Maybe 6 minutes late.
Terrible.
But I show up and they're like, nope, can't take you. You're late.
With a French accent or no?
Yeah, with a French accent. And I was like, oh, it was just 5 minutes before. And they said, and they told me like, in France, you have to be on time. And I was like, man. So I didn't.
Is that a thing?
I guess, yeah. I guess they were so strict, this place. So I had to find another place that accepted walk-ins, which was hard. It took me like an hour just to find a place.
Wow. You really need that haircut, huh?
Yeah, and I got the haircut, which was fine. Wow. Again, 0 words spoken, partially because there was a language barrier. But
yes, I could see that. Good. I did not know that in France you gotta be on time. French people are sassy.
I guess for beauty stuff.
Okay. Where are we right now on our journey?
We're still on the way to the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, I think we're almost there. You can kind of see on the left. It's kind of fun. Yeah, honestly, in terms of like transportation, my ideal life would be like my primary mode of transportation is walking and biking. That's what I realized in this trip. I'm like, I love this ish. And I just think that using your own feet to get to places is great. It's great.
I like biking. Biking more so than walking. I biked to get my haircut today.
That's true. Yeah. I took the car, left Barry alone. There's no way to get around in Los Angeles. That's a fault, though. Like, we need more walking and biking.
I mean, I like the idea of walking and biking as an option.
No, as transportation.
But when you have a car, it's just faster. It's more efficient. It's better to live a more efficient lifestyle.
In a place like Paris, it kind of makes sense to just walk and bike and use the subway, the metro.
Perhaps.
Like, I don't think car is more convenient in a major metropolitan city like this one. Los Angeles is just very big. I think that's a different story. In a city like this, kind of makes sense. Like, that's what we did when we were there. We walked, we biked. Did we even use the metro?
No, not in
That's
Paris.
Crazy. I just processed. We did not use the metro once. We just biked through the whole, like, you know, the area of Paris, like, within the circle, within the... Man, there's, like, a word for it. But within the main center of Paris, like, that circle, if you look at a map, we just stayed in that area and biked everywhere. We did use a train to get outside Paris, but not like the actual city metro. That's crazy. We actually went to Paris without using metro.
How is that crazy?
That's so very crazy. Everyone talks about the metro in Paris.
Sana's got low standards for crazy. She's like, oh, we didn't use public transportation?
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Like in a city known for its transportation. That's pretty crazy.
You know what I like about Sana is that she has a lot of emotion about the smallest things, which is nice. It reminds me of how I used to be, which I'd love to bring it back, where I realized lately that as a child, most children experience large amounts of emotions,
Yes.
a pure amount of happiness, a pure amount of angry, sadness, excitement. But as you get older, at least from my experience, those emotions tend to get a bit more muted. Instead of happy, angry, sad, excited, it's content, disappointed, stressed, anxious,
Muted or like tamed? Like they just get, like imagine like it's like volume.
That's
where
what I
you
meant.
just-
That's what I
it
meant.
decreased in volume.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's like it's a bit more, yeah. But it's nice.
I think that's a side effect of being an adult.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Sana is that she still manages to maintain
Yes.
the full range of emotions. The full range of
Barry.
emotions, yeah.
One of the first things Barry told me when I met him is he's like, I'm like a rock. I'm like, what does that mean? It's like, emotions. I don't do them. And I'm like, that was my first impression of him, that he has no emotions. And it's not true. I think Barry views himself as something. And I'm like, you definitely have emotions, bro. Definitely not a rock.
Well, we'll see. This part was interesting where we went to the Arc de Triomphe and it was completely under construction, so we didn't really even get to see it.
No, you know what I found out recently? It actually wasn't under construction. It was an art piece.
What do you mean?
So it was covered in like this white cloth.
Oh, okay.
It actually wasn't construction. It was like an art piece.
I see. Mm.
Yeah, I found this out very recently. So it was covered in this white cloth to like modernize the Arc de Triomphe. And it was art. We just didn't appreciate it, apparently. We were just like, bleak construction, then turned around and left. Like we left so fast. We just like,
Yeah, this is. I don't even think we got footage of. I didn't even think it was worth turning on the camera for it because it was like you couldn't really see anything. So we just turned around.
yeah.
And here we're driving away. We're biking away from the Arc de Triomphe.
Yeah.
Tons of people. They closed the road, so it was a nice little bike lane.
Yes, you could just like walk here. And there was the bike lane. That was awesome. Like all the bike lanes is just so convenient.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite things about biking here.
Would you rather live inside Paris or on the outskirts of Paris, like in a more suburban area, if you had to live in France?
Definitely in Paris.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like the idea of living on the outskirts, somewhere where I could drive.
This guy in driving. It's all about driving.
Paris is one of those cities which I really liked it, but it doesn't live up to the hype, and I think that's not a fault of Paris, but it's a fault of the world.
I mean, when people think travel, people think like Paris.
Yeah, I think Paris is probably one of the most traveled to cities
Paris
in the world.
did some good branding.
Yeah, and everyone like puts Paris as like a top destination.
It's romanticized too much.
Yeah, and then you get there, it's nice, but it's like
dirty.
Yeah, it's yeah.
It's kind of like New York, how everyone in the world really romanticizes New York, but it's not like that when you actually live there. There's a huge struggle. Actually, wait, I just processed the last time we did a non-carcast cast
that's true.
was a New York one where it was a walk cast, and now here's the Paris one.
Yeah.
Both cities have a lot of similarities in that way, where both are romanticized. Everyone dreams of living there, being there. And depending on what kind of person you are, like, it could be a little bit of a letdown where you're just like, oh, this is dirty. My apartment's very tiny. Everything's expensive. Like, I think it's fun. There's a lot to do, but it's a little overhyped. Just a wee bit.
Yeah. I mean, the baguettes are good. I'll give them that.
Yes. If you haven't seen our other Paris video called We Almost Died Climbing the Eiffel Tower, I highly recommend. You'll see us eating a baguette the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of miss that vibe. Like, I feel like I don't really know of a lot of bakeries in LA. where you can just walk in and get bread and leave.
Here's my question. You know how it tastes better in Paris?
Yeah, because they're
baguettes?
talking about the water and stuff and the ingredients.
I'm so skeptical of that, of how the water makes the bread taste better.
It's a thing. It's a thing in New York too, of the bagels and the pizza. The bread does actually affect, like the tap water, to be specific.
That's so
The tap
silly to
water
me.
in New York tastes
Well,
like it tastes so good compared to LA water. Like LA water, ugh. But like New York water, it tastes so good.
But in theory, you should be able to recreate the same quality and taste by just maybe shipping over that water.
Shipping over water? Who's gonna ship over that all that water? Imagine the cost.
Or create the bread with like bottled water or something. So that
What's this guy talking about?
basically, what I'm
You
trying
know
to
the
say
minerals in the water and everything. It all
is,
contributes.
I think I'm about to fall here.
Wait, you fall?
Yeah, I remember when I was biking, I got hurt.
You got hurt?
Yeah.
I don't know where I was. Oh yeah, because so both of our bikes had like little baskets in the front, and Barry had a huge book bag full of camera equipment.
Yeah.
So he puts his huge book bag in the basket. I think
Here it
that
is.
caused you to like tip a lot.
The curb. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Oh.
I wasn't that I tipped. I just didn't see the curb, and I was just driving straight.
My God.
And I ran into
And
the
then look
curb.
at me. I'm like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah. I started bleeding actually, but I trooped on.
Yeah, I was pretty oblivious to a lot of things that happened behind me.
I blame these
Cobblestones?
the circle things.
The roundabouts?
Yeah, the roundabouts.
I love roundabouts. You did it again. You keep going outside the bike lane.
It's very
I think you're
confusing.
following the other people, actually.
It's very confusing. You know, I'm a
Interesting.
little bit of a slow learner here. You gotta. I wasn't used to the
It's like
roundabouts.
very much. There's like a clear bike lane. A man. Oh my God. Barry. This is exactly like when we drive. Barry just almost hits people frequently.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
almost hitting people biking. Go in the bike lane. Ugh,
Hey,
it stresses me out.
hey.
It stresses me out.
I didn't hit anyone.
I guess that's what really matters, right?
I'm pretty sure you hit someone.
I did not hit anyone.
I think okay, fine. No, if we scroll, okay, fine. I'm pretty sure in the beginning of the video we saw it. You kind of hit someone, but
Didn't
we can move past
I
it.
did not hit anyone.
Yeah, it was on the way to the Eiffel Tower.
No.
There were some guys.
That I hit, physically touched them.
Well, I didn't physically touch this guy.
Yeah, but you're saying I hit someone.
I'm pretty sure.
Are you saying I hit or almost hit? The way you almost did.
I think you hit someone.
I mean, there's literal evidence. We'll have to look back.
We'll have to look back.
Yeah, because I don't think so. I don't know what this thing is, but...
This is on the way to the Louvre.
No, this is outside the Louvre.
Yeah, but it's on the way to it.
No, it's not on the way. We already left.
The Louvre? No, you're talking about the Arc de Triomphe. The Louvre is up
Oh,
ahead.
my bad. That thing actually reminds me a lot... Well, actually, first thing. What is up with European countries and their little arcs? Like, there's so many of these arcs. Just random. Isn't that like... I feel like it's all over Europe. And then New York copied that a little bit of Washington Square Park. They put their little arc.
Yeah.
It's random. Like, I like them. It's just a wee bit random.
I mean, arcs are an architectural phenomenon. You have a half circle on the top, and it's able to stand up with support.
Is that crazy?
No, it's not crazy. I guess I'm thinking it's not that random.
It's pretty random.
It's like an architectural
You
piece.
just walk underneath it.
You think it's more random? What I would say is more random is like abstract sculptures.
No, I feel like that's like decor.
I would argue arcs are pretty specific.
Oh.
It's a specific geometrical shape.
Dude, that's one of my favorite lines of all time. You watch this movie, what was it called? Good guys? Good boys?
Probably Good Boys.
Yeah, it was just a movie about all these 11-year-old boys that were about to go to middle school or something. But one of the lines is like, one of the boys goes to the other boy who the other boy thought he was like random and no one cared about him. And he was like, "You're not random. You're specific to me." That's my favorite line of all time. Now I always use it.
Yeah. It's a good play on the English language.
Yes. What are some other things that we noticed about Paris? I noticed that, the fashion. We could talk about that. I think, my Vejas.
Vejas.
Oh my God, I almost pronounced it wrong. My Vejas, I thought it was pretty cool how across France, a lot of people were wearing Vejas. And I'm like, I like your shoe style. Because I'm trying to become a sneaker gal, where I exclusively only wear my sneakers. And I like seeing other people wearing sneakers because I'm like, I want to be like that too.
Yeah, in America, Vejas are like pretty unknown, but you just see them like every other person in Paris is wearing them.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good place to do some fashion research, I'd say. Just take a trip to Europe and then you'll see what fashion's like and you come back and just copy it.
Oh yeah, like for example, Barry saw some like dad looking figure on the train wearing a very funky sneaker brand. And Barry's like, I need to find out what it was. And all we could see was like the logo looked like a sideways F. So I was like, okay, maybe if you look up like F shoe.
I literally Googled shoe brand F logo.
Yeah, and he found it.
Yeah.
Flamingos, right? Like,
Flamingo Life.
See, you can learn a lot of things by just
it's pretty cool.
checking out what people wear.
I don't care too much about fashion or brands, but whenever I see some like interesting geometry or like letters in this case, I just saw like a letter in a shoe. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this basically wraps up our bike cast. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you had a good time watching us bike, particularly me struggle a few times with my bike. It looks like.
I mean, you did a good job. I mean, I wonder if we switched my GoPro on my head to yours, if it'd be very different. But we got to analyze your biking skills.
That's true.
Which was good.
All right.
Yeah. Peace and love as always, and we'll see you next time.